welcome to this edition of African View, where we discuss a lot of African issues and bilateral relationships with various nations around the world. So this edition, I'm bringing you a special guest from the Indian Embassy, Ambassador Robert Shetkintong, and he has come here to do a lot of works to strengthen the relationship between Ethiopia and India, and we are located in the beautiful garden of the Indian Embassy. So I'd like to welcome you, Ambassador, and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to have a short interaction with you. Welcome to the Indian Embassy.
Thank you very much. And let's start with the relationship between Ethiopia and India. It has counted thousands of years, and we have forged relationship with different areas, trade and education. Could you tell us about the long-lasting relationship?
Ethiopia and India have been in contact or have been having relations for the last thousands of years. There are lots of similarities between our two friendly countries, whether in the food habits that we have, whether in the spices that we use, or even in what we call the rock temple engineering. The rock-hewn churches of Lalibela and the single stone rock temples of South India. There's a lot of similarity. And why there is a lot of similarity? It is probably because we have been in contact for the last thousands of years. Those contacts have brought us broad exchange of ideas between our two countries or between our two civilizations. So that is why our relations are ancient, but it has been excellent. I would like to dwell about the modern the relationship that we have in modern times. It encompasses all aspects. Politically, leadership of our two countries have visited its other countries. The last visit from Ethiopia was by the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister in February 2021, where your Deputy Prime Minister and our External Affairs Minister exchange ideas. They discuss issues pertaining to all aspects of our relationship. That is political. We have Indian teachers who used to teach here in large numbers. I am very happy that when I travel around your beautiful country, I meet people whose either science or mathematics teacher is invariably an Indian. And I'm really humbled by the gratitude these people have shown towards their Indian teachers. Today we also have large number of Indian professors and lecturers in various public universities in Ethiopia. Ethiopian students form one of the largest group of students from Africa and India. We have a number of dignitaries who would have done their research or who would have studied in India. I think education is very important. The most important aspect is the commercial and economic. We have about 600 plus Indian companies who have invested about 3 billion US dollars in this country. They are in manufacturing, they are in agriculture, in various areas. And they give employment to about 75,000 Ethiopian nationals. So I believe today the economic aspect is very evident and it is very important. Yes, culture. We are ancient countries, we are ancient civilizations, so our cultures are rich. During the next 2 years, we are going to celebrate India at 75, which is India is celebrating 75 years of its independence. In 1948, Ethiopia was one of the earliest countries to recognize India. So we had diplomatic relationship since 1948. So we will be celebrating our 75 years of diplomatic relations in 2022. So what we are doing is that starting from March 2021 till August 2022, there will be 75 weeks of celebrations of our of these important events. So I see that there will be lots of cultural activities here in Ethiopia. It is only that the COVID pandemic
Yeah.
has brought some pause to our activities.
I think you have really explained it a lot because when it comes to education, I myself am a witness.
Yes.
Because I had back in the days when I was in school, I have a number of Indian teachers. In college also, I have Indian teachers, and this relationship, the educational relationship, is really strong because even Ethiopian students, they go to India for their postgraduate, undergraduate, and PhD studies. So it has brought people together with exchanging cultures and the like. And like you said, also the spice trade that we used to have has influenced our eating habits,
Yes.
our food, and also the business is also, like you mentioned, it's really vibrant. I also want to focus on the medicine. You have a lot of schemes or cooperative schemes that you have with the Ethiopian government, and you have also donated back, even last year, you have donated a lot of medical equipments, medical services to Ethiopia, and I want you to give me a bit highlight on that medical aspect.
In the past, we have sent number of doctors for short-term training programs to India. These are government-sponsored training programs, Government of India-sponsored training programs. One. Two, today, their Cardila Pharmaceuticals is a joint venture between an Indian company and an Ethiopian company. So they are producing a medicine. So this is the first joint venture in pharmaceuticals. During the last 1 year, people talk about the COVID pandemic, but what surprises me is that actually there were 35 Indian new investments here in Ethiopia, and two of them are pharmaceutical plants. So we have Kilit's Pharmaceuticals. Again, this is a joint venture between an Indian company and an Ethiopian company, and very soon they will start producing. The other is a standalone Indian investment, which is at Kilinto Industrial Park, and hopefully by this year it will start production. So what I look at is that at the moment, Ethiopia imports lots of medicines from India, but where we have to look in the long run is that we should have, if Ethiopia is to be a manufacturing hub in pharmaceuticals by 2023, we need to bring in Indian investors who should come and set up their factories. With the African free trade, with the regional the regional infrastructural connection that you have here with Kenya, with South Sudan, with Somalia, with Djibouti, with uh, other neighboring countries, I feel that Ethiopia should be the entry point. So many Indian pharmaceutical companies are positive. They are exploring. We will see what will happen in the next, maybe in the next 6-7 months. Now, coming back to cooperation in this sector, uh, in May 2020, when the Honorable Ethiopian Prime Minister and the Indian Prime Minister had telephonic conversation, they expressed solidarity, saying that during this COVID-19 pandemic, countries should come together, should cooperate, otherwise humanity will stand to lose. So, and in pursuance of our Indian Prime Minister's assurance, we have gifted or donated medicines to Ethiopia. Under the COVAX facility, India facilitated 2.2 million vaccines for Ethiopia. Of course, this is under the COVAX facility. Likewise, likewise, we have scholarships provided by the Foreign Ministry of India. So where we have about 65 seats per year, and I'm sure some of the seats are in maybe pharmaceuticals, in pharmacy. Though I am not sure, I don't think study of medicine is there in the scholarship. So this are
I know,
yeah.
there is a scheme for journalists. Yeah.
Yes, and these are what I would say 60 seats provided by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in India. Besides that, we also have a study in India scholarship provided by the Ministry of Education. So here, I believe last year Ethiopian students were one of the largest group of students who got scholarship under this scheme. So these are some of the areas. Yes.
That's very good. So now that you've mentioned the Continental Free Trade Agreement of Africa, how do you see Indian engagement in Africa, not only Ethiopia, but African countries? You have said Ethiopia is the gateway to Africa. What is it going to be Indians' role in this business venture?
See, what this trade agreement is going to make 1.2 billion people in the various countries of Africa under one economy. So in the sense that you have 1.3 billion people in India, 1.2 billion people in Africa, we are going to be united. But it will not be easy to implement. I mean, it will take time. It will take time because there has to be a proper infrastructure. There has to be a good connection, so that a person who has already set up his factory in Ethiopia can actually transport and sell his own products in other countries in Africa. So it gives us tremendous opportunities. Now, where we have to see at the moment is that over the years, Ethiopia's committed leadership have implemented really positive economic policies. They have done very attractive policies for foreign investment. So you see lots of foreign investors who are already in this country. And it's just that by expanding the market, you are giving them more opportunities to expand. So
That's good. And based on that, what you have just said, there was recently an Indian business forum that was held here at the embassy, and various stakeholders from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Trade and Investment, they were here to discuss about ways forward, things that should be improved. How did you see the forum, the discussion going, and how did the various officials of the government respond to your questions, comments? How did you see that?
First of all, we have to give credit to the government of Ethiopia because the leadership here is committed. Ministers, policy makers are always listening to us, and they are always improving the policies. So that is why you have so much of confidence in foreign investors who come here. Now, to say that everything is good here would not be a proper description because there are issues. Now, the Indian Business Forum was founded 15 years ago to look after the Indian companies here, to facilitate them and to encourage them to come and set up their bases here. Now, the IBF has played a very positive role. They are giving a platform for Indian companies to network among themselves and also to network with their Ethiopian counterparts. Now on that day when we had organized that interaction, you have State Minister for Foreign Affairs, State Minister for Industry and Trade, we have representatives of EIC, we have representatives from the Ministry of Mines. They have come, they have assured the Indian investors that this is the best place and there is still room for improvement. Now, on that day, there were more than 110 Indian investors. Uh, the feedback that I received from them is that they are very happy, they are positive. Yes, they have raised some issues, and they are confident that many of these issues will be resolved. Now, let us also be frank that some of the issues will take time, some of the issues may not get the solution, but at least the confidence is that the government is listening to us, and we are hoping that there will be improvement.
So now let's take a few minutes to look at the video and then we'll come back.
Be celebrating India at 75, India and Ethiopia relationships at 75. We have amongst us Her Excellency Sayan Teklu, State Minister for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, FTRE. We are also privileged to have with us Ambassador Masgano, State Minister of Ministry of Trade and Industry. We have with us His Excellency Ato Molalin. Thank you for joining us this evening. Other officials from the government, ladies and gentlemen, and my young volunteers here, I welcome you to this celebration, which has been organized by the India Business Forum in collaboration with the Indian Embassy in Ethiopia. And it's a great privilege to welcome you all here. May I now start the function with the permission of Her Excellency. We will start with a traditional welcome of guests. I would request Mr. A.S. Murthy, member of our Executive Committee of the India Business Forum, to please come and present a memento of welcome to Her Excellency Sayan Teklu, State Minister. I would now request Mr. Sujit Govindan, member of the Executive Committee of the India Business Forum, to please present a bouquet to welcome Her Excellency. We have amongst us an old friend, Ambassador Masgano. May I request Mr. Thomas Chako to please step forward and present a bouquet to Ambassador Masgano. It would be befitting to request our Honorable Mr. Ramendra Shah to please come and present a memento to Ambassador Masgano. The two deputy conveners, Mr. Rajiv Sharma and Mr. Kaushal Sheth.
Your Excellency Ethio-India Teklu, the State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Your Excellency Ambassador Masgano, State Minister of Trade and Industry, our own Ambassador, Your Excellency Ambassador Robert Shetkintong, Your Excellency Ato Molalin, the Director General of our own desk at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, other Excellencies, dignitaries, friends from the India Business Forum, and ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you today to this event that we are having. It's a very special event because today we are celebrating 75 years of India and Ethiopia's diplomatic relations and the India Business Forum, which is turned 15 last October. So because of COVID, we had to delay, but I think it was worth the wait with this beautiful gathering with such great dignitaries. As investors, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing very interesting times in Ethiopia. As you would have all followed the news, recently the government has launched its 10-year homegrown economic reform agenda, the plan, which is primarily very ambitious and is driven by the private sector. Now, this is something which will excite most of the private sector captains. The other recent announcement, which is the granting of telecom operators. Now, this means that actually the government is not only talking, but they are walking the talk. It is the first time that we've seen this consortium of foreign telecom operators, and the government has sort of liberalized the telecom sector. This shows that if they can liberalize the telecom sector, the private sector has a lot to look forward, and therefore these are really exciting times for all of us. With all these, we are expecting that more FDI will flow in from India and of course other countries. And what I have noticed is about 3 important points which sort of are important in getting FDI. So the first one is naturally lucrative opportunities in the country. And we all know that it's a virgin territory, and there are a lot of opportunities in Ethiopia which can be tapped and our investors can benefit from. The second one is the ease of doing business. And most of you will agree with me that Ethiopia has done a lot in the last couple of years. In fact, even in the last couple of months, that has eased a lot of things, and the ease of doing business is much better and much improved. So this is also good news for all us all. And the third most important thing is the sense of belonging. Now, this is one area where we will, through our discussions, identify some areas where we need to give a greater sense of belongings, because the Indian community here is as good as the Ethiopian community. We're brothers, and we've been here for 3, 4, and even 5 generations together. So we need to really strengthen this bond, and let us see, we will look at certain things which we would have to recommend.
Investment projects here in Ethiopia, despite the pandemic, and you won't believe that there are already, besides Kadila, we have 2 more pharmaceutical companies that are coming up. Kilitz is about to start their operations, and when you go to on the way to Adama, you will see the Kilinto Park, right? Today at the Kilinto Park, there is just one factory that is leading the way. That is Glocare, an Indian pharmaceutical company. They're just about to complete their construction, and they will start soon. So if you look at different sectors, I can go on and on, but it will not be fair because I will miss many of your companies. So let me not name individual companies, but I want to say that here at the embassy, here at the foreign ministry, at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, leadership is listening to you. Please, today, you have genuine problems. I think this is a small forum or appropriate one for you to raise up your issues in a polite, positive manner, and the leadership is listening to you, right? So let us use this opportunity to further strengthen what we call our bilateral trade or business relations between our 2 friendly countries. So having said all this, I want to wish all of you a very fruitful interaction. Use the opportunity, and we will always stand to gain. Thank you very much.
Very great pleasure to be here today. I have been given the opportunity to speak today specifically about the importance of the knowledge we ought to have about the kind of relationship India has with Ethiopia not just for decades, not just for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. So in this presentation, what I'm trying to highlight is that the relationship India has with Ethiopia goes to many, many thousands and thousands of years.
Two intricately interwoven countries for the long and historic years of relationship. And I would like to say happy 75 years of anniversary.
To congratulate on the 75 years and also 15 years of IBF establishment. It's an exciting journey, and I've been doing a tremendous connection with the Ethiopian government authorities, with also networking with the Ethiopian businesses and Indian, as well as bridging the relationship. So, as has been said by Her Excellency Ambassador and Daniel, our relation is natural and very natural. Our connection is deep and goes back to millennia, and we're celebrating a relationship between that exists for centuries and centuries and for millennia. So I congratulate this strong, deep ties between the two people and the two countries, which is a basis for our relation, and the strong commitment of the two governments brought us here, and the cultural connection, the long-standing trade relation, and the trust between the two people. That is important aspect of our relation.
I represent Ayana Marbles. We are into marble mining and processing in Ethiopia. And the company, we employ about 250 to 300 people in Ethiopia, all Ethiopian staff. And I would like to highlight the incidents on the 12th of March. Our entire mining operations came to a halt because our entire machinery was burnt down by the rebels in Benshangul Gumuz. And we simply seek assistance from the government in providing us adequate compensation, which is justified and due. And I'll very, very briefly touch on the three major points that we ask for. That is compensation to be provided, security at the mining site, and political insurance at the mining site for saving us from further any such incidences happening in the future. That is all. And I believe, we strongly believe in the leadership of the country, and we are very, very hopeful that we will get justice and we shall thrive. Thank you.
One is that, sensing that there is a forex issue in the country, and being a paint industry company, we have a high dependence on importation of raw materials. So we thought of, doing a backward integration. We thought, why not produce a product which is our raw material ourselves, so that we have a we contribute to the country's economy and we reduce dependence upon importation. With that aim in mind, we did our investments, and we had a three-pronged strategy in mind. That one, it will give more employment to the local people. Second, I'll be reducing my imports requirements, and third, this unit will also add to the potential for exports tomorrow. Now, this entire thing also requires some raw material importation, and because of this forex, this entire unit is almost going to get shut very soon. Now, after putting this kind of an investment, and with that thing in mind, that I'll be able to do a backward integration, and will be able to do a value add to the overall system, and still, because of this thing, I have to halt this entire operation now after reaching out to stage after actually doing a production for a year or so. And I'm still continuing, I'm not saying that I've stopped it, I'm still continuing, but with Forex crunch, it is becoming more and more difficult to do that. So just a proposal that if such units can be seen with a difference, when it comes to Forex allocation, can these units be seen with a difference? That's the point one. Second point, I think, has been considered or discussed in the main presentation, plus was covered by Jisal. Being a foreign investor here, I have my stakeholders back home there, and we have to remit dividends as well as royalties. Now, in case of royalty fee, what happens is the country considers that, the Asian Paints India, it has to consider this or recognize this money as due to them, and they have to pay taxation on it. Now, for the 5 years, Asian Paints is paying tax on something which has not reached there, and the taxation is being paid on the USD rates then. Whereas, there is a huge depreciation that has happened in the last 5 years, so there is technically a loss which is happening to the company back home. So how can these things be covered there? And otherwise, I think remittance is another part which has been covered on a lighter side. I'll just want, standing here on 25th of this month, my previous month's salary is yet to be remitted.
We work together, we partner with each other, and then we will solve the problems. We'll open up more. But I'm glad, even though the issues that were raised are challenges and problems, but I see all of you here. That is an indication for me that there are a lot of investors, and Ethiopia is still a destination for investment, which gives me a very big hope.
We are back. So, like you said, it's really a frank discussion that went on, and it shows that both sides want to discuss and improve the situation here. And also with the residence ID and other materials that they have requested is really a good...
I think you were there that evening.
Yeah.
If you would recall, about 3 of the participants had raised issues about their identity cards. Now, here in Ethiopia, we have, let's say about 100 years ago, there used to be 150 Indian families who used to live mostly in Addis Ababa and also in Dire Dawa and Harar. Over the years, many of them have left or have gone elsewhere. Today, we have about 40 Indian families who have stayed here for the last 3 or 4 generations, or for the last 120 years. So what you should know is that many people, if you look at them, you will say that they are Indians. Yes, they are Indians by their looks, but by their food habits, by the language, by the thinking that they are more Ethiopians than Indians. So that is why they were saying that they should not be forgotten. And I think it is a very fair and genuine request from them.
Yeah, some of them have said that they were really emotional when they talk about Ethiopia. This is their country, and they were almost in tears when they say. I think as citizens.
I think what you should also know is that once you come to Ethiopia or once you come to Africa and you know the place, actually you cannot take Ethiopia out of your blood. So,
once it is in there, it's forever.
Beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful people. One of the best places on earth. So.
But that's really good.
Yes.
That's really good to know. So let me just go to the next step. What's going to be the relationship between Ethiopia, India, and Africa in general? What's your step next?
See, if you look at history is the best teacher. In 1936, when foreign forces entered Addis Ababa on 9th May, people of India, they demonstrated against foreign invasion. 9th May 1936, they observed Ethiopia Day in India. That means we were also under colonial rule. You were not under colonial rule, but foreign forces had entered Addis Ababa. Now, this only tells us that actually from so many years, people in India look at sisters and brothers in Africa as their own. So we are always one. Uh, f- when we had the first India-Africa Forum Summit, India has been very frank with our brothers and sisters from Africa, saying that whatever we do for Africa will be decided by you and will be for your own good. So under the India-Africa Forum Summit, we have trained lots of government officials, individuals. We have set up centers of excellence in various countries in Africa. We have set up vocational training schools in various parts of the continent. Why? Because we want to raise your capacity. We want to raise your capability. It is not that India is dictating you. It is not we are saying that this is the way, but we are asking our sisters and brothers from Africa, telling them that what do you want? When they say I want this and this, then only we do. So it is always solidarity is based on respect. It is based on equality. That is why you will see that sincerity with India, that we will always stand with Africa. We will also stand with Ethiopia based on solidarity, based on respect.
That's really interesting, and you have also shown that in these hard times, and by donating a lot of medical equipment, vaccines to this day, and I really want to shed some light on the Indian COVID-19 situation, if you don't mind, and it's really sad that people are suffering. How do you see it, and what kind of actions has your government taken towards that?
If you look at today, it is improving, and we are very thankful for our international partners, friends. Various countries have expressed their solidarity, including Ethiopia. We are very thankful for your prayers, for your support. COVID-19 will have to be fought by everyone. All of us will have to cooperate, and surely we will come out victorious. Even though that effort will take some time.
Yes. We hope for the best, and all of us have to pray.
Yes, I think in the end, COVID-19 will be fought by the governments, but more so by the people. We have to be careful as individuals, as citizens. We will have to fight together.
Yes. Thank you very much. That was really an insightful discussion that we have. Ambassador Robert Shetkintong was with me discussing about Indian-Ethiopian relationship and also the African relationship and what their future is going to be like, with India having 1.3 billion people, Africa having 1.2 billion people. So we have to come together and develop each other's economy, become partners with each other. So I really want to thank you, Ambassador, again for giving us your time. Dear viewers, that's all we have for this edition of African View with me, Yodita Damasu, and Ambassador of India to Ethiopia and the African Union. Till next time, it's goodbye.